The galaxy trembles as a warning echoes through the halls of the galactic Concord. An ancient alien elder stands before the assembled delegates, his body translucent with age. Each breath a visible shudder through crystalline flesh that remembers epochs before most species present had even discovered fire. His voice cracks like ice breaking on a frozen lake as he speaks words that will haunt the survivors. Do not provoke the humans. They do not forget, and they do not pardon. The chamber erupts in laughter. 70 species mock the frail voice, their derision cascading in waves of chirps, bellows, and synthesized contempt. The Krillian ambassador actually slaps his thorax in amusement, mandibles clicking in rhythmic mockery. The elder lowers his eyes, ancient and knowing, having seen it once before during the Earth Wars, when humanity first reached the stars with fire in their hearts and grief carved into their ships. But no one listens. They never do. A century of peace follows, quiet as snowfall on a grave. Humanity retreats into silence, its fleets dismantled under treaty obligations, its colonies forgotten by a galaxy that moves on to newer conflicts and fresher blood. The younger species rise in humanity's absence, calling them archaic in university lecture halls, barbarians in children's history programs. Earth becomes a footnote, a cautionary tale about primitive aggression tamed by enlightened galactic governance. But deep beneath Luna's grey dust, in caverns carved during the first expansion, something stirs. Automated foundries begin their ancient rhythms, pistons firing after 100 years of stillness. Defense satellites blink awake in high orbit, their targeting arrays sweeping the void with patient, methodical precision. The galaxy sleeps. Humanity prepares. A border skirmish ignites near the Voss cluster, unremarkable at first, just another territorial dispute in a region known for them. A human convoy passes through neutral space, its manifest declaring medical supplies for the colony at Kepler 442, its ships painted white with red crosses visible from light minutes away. The Zyrell Dominion ambushes them without warning, without provocation, simply because they can. Footage leaks across the stars through channels impossible to trace. Burning ships tumbling through the black, screaming civilians transmitting final messages to loved ones who will never hear them, and one haunting phrase sent before the static claims everything. Tell the Concord. We warned them. The video spreads like plague through the galactic network. Some species express outrage. Most simply change the channel. In the capital of the Zyrell Dominion, within a palace carved from a single asteroid of pure diamond, the supreme strategist dismisses the incident with a wave of his primary manipulator. They'll bark, he says to his assembled war council, his expression smug behind layers of ceremonial faceplates. But they've forgotten how to bite. Earth signed the treaties. They decommissioned their weapons. They're toothless now. His advisors laugh, a sound like wind through broken glass. They toast to their victory with fermented nectars worth more than most colonies. Far away, in the black void between stars where light takes years to travel, long dormant sensors awaken. A transmission bursts from Sol, traveling through quantum-entangled channels that predate the Concord itself. Protocol Helios, reactivation authorized. The signal carries no emotion, no anger, no hate, just activation codes older than peace. The stars flicker. Every listening post across the Orion arm records the same impossible reading. Sensors screaming alerts that technicians dismiss as equipment failure until the reports pile too high to ignore. Dozens of human warships appear out of fold space, then hundreds, materializing in formations that military academies will study for generations. Not sleek like alien ships with their elegant curves and artistic hull designs, but brutal, armored, alive with purpose. Their hulls bear scars from conflicts the Concord worked hard to erase from history. Each vessel moves with terrifying coordination, a school of predators who've hunted together before. The elder watches from his exile on a forgotten moon, his trembling hands closing around a relic, an old Earth coin dated 2087, the year humanity first reached beyond their system. He whispers to no one and everyone, they remember. By all the old gods and the spaces between stars, they remember everything. The first strike hit Zyrell Prime at 0400 local time. No warning, no declaration, no demands for surrender. Orbital night turns to fire as kinetic impactors rain from above. Each projectile precisely calculated to devastate military targets while leaving civilian infrastructure intact. The human fleet moves with surgical precision, honed over centuries of warfare. Every capital ship, every military dockyard, every weapons facility erased within hours. The Zyrell defense fleet tries to respond, but their ships were designed for parades and border intimidation, not war against an enemy that remembers how to kill. Across the galactic net, panic spreads faster than light through quantum relays. The Council calls emergency sessions. They send messages demanding negotiation, offering mediation, threatening sanctions. Humanity does not answer. The silence is more terrifying than any declaration could be. In the Concord chamber, delegates argue with increasing desperation, their voices rising in cacophony that would be comedic if not for the death tolls scrolling across their displays. "They're breaking the accords," screams the Delphinian representative, her bioluminescent skin flashing distress patterns. "They're annihilating civilians," lies the Krillian ambassador, though every independent verification shows otherwise. The elder's voice cuts through the chaos like a blade through silk, somehow commanding despite its weakness. "You broke the accords first. You spilled their blood on the altar of convenience. And you think they'll forgive? You don't know humanity. Forgiveness requires trust, and you've proven yourselves unworthy of even memory." The chamber falls silent, because everyone present suddenly understands they're not facing a war. They're facing judgment. Human ground troops land on Zyrell's second moon, their drop pods streaking through atmosphere like falling stars, bearing nothing but reckoning. Their armor is black, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Their unit emblems replaced with a single insignia that chills every observer. A white circle crossed by a crimson line. A warning written in the universal language of symbols. No mercy, no repeat offenses, no second chances. The Zyrell military command attempts to broadcast surrender, their transmission carefully worded by diplomatic experts, offering reparations and trials and everything the Concord protocols demand. The broadcast is jammed instantly, replaced by a single human message transmitted on every frequency, in every language, impossible to block or ignore. "We don't pardon." 2 words. A complete philosophy of justice. The galaxy watches in real-time horror as entire dominions collapse under human precision strikes. Each target chosen with intelligence that suggests decades of surveillance, of patient cataloging, of knowing exactly who ordered what and when. Not indiscriminate slaughter, not the rage-filled revenge expected from a grieving species, but surgical justice administered with the cold efficiency of automation. War fleets surrender without firing a shot, their crews evacuating to neutral stations in lifepods that human ships carefully avoid. Some vessels vanish, fleeing to uncharted space beyond the galactic rim where perhaps humanity's memory cannot reach. Others beg for peace, their transmissions growing increasingly desperate as they realize no negotiation is coming. The human advance continues, methodical as planetary rotation, unstoppable as entropy. The Council sends envoys to Earth, a delegation of the Concord's finest diplomats, chosen for their skill in de-escalation. Their ships marked with every peace symbol known to galactic civilization. None return. The diplomatic vessels vanish into Sol's gravity well, their signals erased so completely that even quantum-entangled backups fail. For 3 weeks, silence. Then, on the morning of the 22nd day, a message arrives simultaneously at every Concord facility, every government seat, every news network. "Your envoy stood before us and lied. They denied prior knowledge, denied complicity, denied everything except the evidence we played back to them from their own encrypted communications. Your species will not be punished, but you will remember. You will teach your children what happens when the patient are provoked. And you will never forget that mercy is not weakness, but we have run out of both." A monument appears on Luna's far side, constructed in a single night by fabrication systems that shouldn't exist, visible from the galaxy's edge through quantum telescopes. A towering spire of names rises from the grey dust, each one a victim from the convoy, carved in letters that catch starlight and throw it back defiant. Beneath the names, words in every known language: "We forgave once." The elder weeps when he sees it, his tears crystallizing in the thin atmosphere of his exile world, because he knows what comes next. The cleansing of memory, the withdrawal of trust, the retreat into isolation that will reshape galactic politics for millennia. Humanity will not conquer. They will simply withdraw, taking with them every innovation, every cultural exchange, every hope of partnership. Punishment through absence. Galactic historians rewrite the archives, struggling to contextualize events that shattered every assumption about post-scarcity, civilizations, and enlightened governance. They call it the human retaliation in academic journals, the silent year in military academies, the pardonless war in textbooks, carefully edited for young readers. But survivors whisper a different title in bars and back rooms, in the quiet spaces where truth lives after official narratives fail. The reckoning. Because it wasn't war. War implies two sides fighting. This was accounting, a ledger balanced with precision and grief. Human fleets retreat once more to Sol, their withdrawal as coordinated as their arrival, leaving behind no occupations, no declarations, no treaties to sign. Just silence, heavy as collapsed stars, dense with implication. The Concorde sends a probe toward Earth decades later, after sufficient time has passed for wounds to maybe scar, if not heal. It finds cities rebuilt along coastlines that should be flooded, oceans alive with species that were endangered, forests regrowing where deserts once spread. Earth has healed itself while the galaxy festered. The probe receives a single transmission, repeating in every language from ancient Sanskrit to trade pidgin, Delphinian, "We are patient, not passive." In the background, faintly, barely detectable beneath the message, scanners pick up the hum of engines in the deep void, the signature of ships under construction in numbers that suggest humanity has learned nothing except how to prepare better next time. The elder dies in his exile, clutching the human coin that has become his talisman, his warning, his proof that he tried. Before his final breath, consciousness fading like stars at dawn, he records a message with the last of his strength. They will offer peace only once. Never provoke the quiet species. Never mistake patience for weakness. Never assume silence means forgetting. I have watched humanity across centuries. They are capable of transcendent beauty and terrible justice in equal measure. Treat them with respect, or learn what it means to face a species that loves deeply enough to hate perfectly. The recording is filed in the Concorde archives under classified documentation, buried beneath layers of encryption and bureaucratic obscurity. Few ever find it. Fewer believe it. Centuries later, a new war brews in sectors that have forgotten history, as new species always do. A young civilization called the Remnary discovers the old warning in a data archaeology expedition and laughs at the primitive fears it describes. Humans are gone, they say in their council chambers, dismissing the elders' words as superstition from a more barbaric age. They retreated to their homeworld and faded into obscurity. The galaxy has moved on. They begin their expansion with confidence, claiming human memorial sites as salvage, stripping the monuments for materials. On the edge of known space, in the darkness between spiral arms, a signal activates again, traveling through networks that predate empires. Protocol Helios, reactivation authorized. The first fleets appear, shimmering in the dark like heat waves over ancient asphalt. Ancient and unstoppable, and undeniably human. Their hulls bear scars from 1,000 wars, metal patched and repatched but never replaced, history written in carbon scoring and impact craters. Their silence is heavier than any threat, more eloquent than any declaration. Ships that should be museum pieces move with perfect coordination, crewed by descendants who learned the old stories, who carry the old grief, who remember because humanity always remembers. The voice returns, broadcast across every frequency, bypassing every filter. The elder warned you once. You didn't listen. We are patient. We do not pardon. The last image transmitted before the galactic communication network experiences systematic failure. Earth rising over the silver hull of a human dreadnought, its surface scarred but beautiful. Clouds swirling over blue oceans that shouldn't exist but do. Words are carved into the dreadnought's side, in letters 10 meters high, burned into the armor with plasma cutters so they'll survive anything. We don't pardon. Then silence. The stars fade as quantum relays shut down in cascading failure. The galaxy goes dark, section by section, network by network. And in the darkness, everyone finally remembers the Elder's warning. They remember too late, as species always do, that patience is not weakness, that silence is not surrender, and that humanity never, ever forgets.